quick, no spoiler review of Fantastic Four. Don't go to see it in 4DX. It's a good movie. It's a solid Marvel movie. I thought it was as good as Thor. Um, the first Spider-Man, the first X-Men. It talks about a vision of the future for New York that never came, you know, because they actually name a lot of places in New York. They say that the Wizard is in Delancey Street and El Diablo is in Washington Heights. And I really like everything about the movie. If there was two things that I thought didn't work about the movie, was at times the things CGI, right? And the thing should be smoking a cigar. He never smoked a cigar throughout the whole movie. And another thing I noticed is I didn't see him playing poker in any scene of the movie. But apart from that, the the movie does a really good job of taking you to Tomorrowland or taking you to the Jetsons, right? It's showing you this hopeful vision of the 1960s space race future. I really like how they did the Fantastic Car. I really love all the actors. Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. He was the Mr. Fantastic that was right out of that first comic book. All right? He was that Mr. And that's a hard character to act because what's Mr. Fantastic? He's always blurting science lines, and I think Pedro Pascal really brought a depth. He really brought that character from the comic book page to life. So he's a good actor. Really like how he did his Reed Richards, knowing that he's going to be the leader of the Avengers. Awesome. Sue Storm as Invisible Woman, she was great. She was great. And the the Human Torch was awesome. I loved how they did the Human Torch. What didn't work for me was the Silver Surfer. If you're gonna have a naked woman throughout the whole movie, they should have casted a woman who, hey, has some tits and got some ass. All right, because she don't got tits, she don't got any ass. Uh, that actress who they chose as a Silver Surfer, she doesn't embody the body of a comic book character. Now, that being said, she does have good scenes, but I'm just saying, like, they should have casted a woman with breasts. They should have casted a woman with breasts. So, they did the Human Torch good. Then the Thing, they tried to tease. Natasha Lyonne, actress Natasha Lyonne, has a cameo. And when she's talking to the Thing, her eyes aren't looking at the Thing's face, and it's like really noticeable. So I would say if there was two things that didn't work in the movie, it's they could have done the Thing better. The Thing could have had better scenes in the movie. And so if we see him in Avengers Doomsday, I hope he's smoking a cigar, and I hope he's playing poker with the other heroes. And then Silver Surfer, I hope they recast her. I don't. And here's the thing: in real life, the actress does look pretty, but they have the real actress in a flashback to Zen-La, her planet. You don't see Norrin Rad, Silver Surfer. You don't see him. And Shalabal was supposed to have black hair, and Disney does all they can to make this actress look unattractive. And I saw her on the red carpet. She is pretty, but she was miscast in this character. You know, Mystique had breasts. Hey, what's going on here? You know, So that was one thing, and you could tell there was a couple of deleted scenes. They cut John Malkovich's scenes out, and you see him in the end credits, right? And then there's another scene where the Human Torch is confronting the Silver Surfer, and he shows her these recordings that they've found around the galaxy of worlds Galactus has destroyed. And how did the Silver Surfer get those recordings, right? So you could tell there was a deleted scene with that. But other than that, it really reminded me of a Phase 1 movie. It really reminded me of the Jetsons. It really felt like you were going to Disney's Tomorrowland, okay? And then the movie's a good movie. Go see it, and go see it in IMAX. I don't recommend 4DX. The movie, when I went over there, in the middle of the movie, they shut off the movie for 20 minutes because the chairs in the 4DX were out of sync. And they were the chairs were shaking to Jurassic World Rebirth. No, this isn't Jurassic World Rebirth. It's Fantastic Four First Steps. So the chairs weren't working. So like they would be talking. There would be a scene with the characters talking, and it's supposed to be like a scene where you're listening, and the chairs are going. They were out of whack. They had to stop for 20 minutes. Then they didn't use the chairs, and the movie looked really good in 3D. In IMAX, go see this in IMAX. I would never ever go to 4DX again, because after going to like 4 or 5 movies in 4DX, you discover that the people running the theater aren't even putting the right syncing to the chairs to the movie. So why am I going to even pay for 4DX? It's like, but it's a good Marvel movie. Definitely go see it. I highly recommend it. And hey, I didn't talk about Galactus. Galactus was done really well. And his ship was done really well. And the way they beat him at the end, I like the shot of how they beat him at the end. Now I will say that it looked good. It looked good. So it was a good movie. It was a good adaptation of the comic book story. And the next one is Avengers Doomsday. So